This tweet just further indictment of Christy Smith not wanting to debate Cenk Uygur or the other Democrats that are running to replace Katie Hill after she is resigning from California's 25th congressional district. So this is the quote from Cenk. Let's be clear one more time. Every other Democratic candidate in the California 25th district race asked Christy Smith 4 different times to debate. She refused. We said she could pick time and place. She refused. We still say she can pick time and place for next debate. She refused. It's like, what? It's like, Jesus, what are you're just trying to hide from the voters because you realize that if you get on stage with Cenk and maybe other progressives, if they are in fact, running, then you would get called out for your centrist policy positions, like you don't support Medicare for all, you support a public option, which would create a two-tiered healthcare system where people would still be dying due to lack of access to healthcare. People would still be going bankrupt because it doesn't change the fundamental problem that having a for-profit healthcare system creates. You're okay with people dying and going bankrupt due to not having access to healthcare. I think healthcare is a human right. So does Cenk. That's why he supports Medicare for all. You also don't support, free college. So I think that's why Christy Smith doesn't want to get up on the stage and debate Cenk and these other candidates, because she would get called out for her neoliberal centrism. And then here is Cenk saying, any of you tough guy Republicans in this CA25 race want to debate, or do y'all want to run for the hills too? Just taking a little swipe there at Christy Smith. I'll debate you one by one or all at the same time. If your ideas and policies are so good, you should be looking forward to the opportunity, or are you scared? Agreed. If Christy Smith is so confident in her ideas and the policies and platforms that she is running on, and she thinks the voters will be so enthusiastic to support and endorse that, get on the debate stage, sing it from the mountaintops. Get out there, say what your positions are, vehemently defend them, say why you don't support things like Medicare for all or free college, or a progressive legislative agenda, and let the voters decide. But that if you get out there and you get called out on your neoliberal centrism, then it's going to hurt your campaign. So it seems like you're just running to run. It's more of a cult of personality, and you're willing to not engage in the democratic process by engaging in these debates at all, because you're scared you would get shown to be not working in the best interest of the voters of California's 25th district. And so you'd rather not engage in the democratic process, which is hugely troubling and problematic. Like Cenk was saying, to the Republicans, and it extends to you. If your ideas are so great, and you think the voters will do so well under a Christy Smith um, as their congressperson, then get out there and tell them why they should be supporting you in these debates. The debate process is part of the democratic process. Get out there and get on the debate stage and talk to Cenk and these other candidates and talk to the voters of why they should support you over Cenk and these other people. And then, so this is interesting too. I don't, did you just quote tweet yourself? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And this is in reference to a quote by Christy Smith here. A woman of substance and character does not bend to the will of any man who has neither. So she's trying to say that calling like Cenk a sexist because Cenk thinks that that Christy Smith and other people just aren't entitled to a congressional position, that they should actually have to engage in the debates in this process, exchange of ideas, get your message out there. But she thinks that is sexist and to bend to the will of the voters in California's 25th district, as well as the other, candidates out there. So again, just trying to, obfuscate the issue, try to really confuse what the issue here is. And obviously we know it's that Christy Smith is a neoliberal centrist. She supports the status quo. She's not in favor of these bold, progressive ideas that our country desperately needs to, fix things like people dying from lack of access to healthcare, or, people being saddled with huge amounts of student loan debt because our educational system is so bankrupt. So instead of wanting to go up there and debate these, ideas with these other Democratic candidates, because she knows she would get wrecked by people like Cenk and other progressives, if there's other progressives in the race, she resorts to this personal attack by basically saying that, you know, that Cenk is a sexist because, Christy Smith is a woman of substance, and she's not going to bend to the will of a man who has no substance and character. Just bull BS talking points. And let's see what some of the replies to her responses were. Actual consistent constituent here. Keep highlighting your record and connecting with voters that you've been doing for a decade. Our community adores you. We know you have accomplished for us. No grandstanding grifters. Followers can take that away. Another neoliberal centrist, that person would be, I think. Let's see. And then I really like this one from Jordan Yule. Really cool way to deflect from dodging a debate with four other candidates, indeed. Exactly. And then this is a perfect response by Judith Benezra. You're not bending to the will of any man by actually participating in a debate, so let's get out of here. So your constituents can hear your policy positions and plans to represent CA25. This is, if you have any, imagine Elizabeth Warren felt so privileged in a title that she just sat one out. Indeed, like the hubris and sense of entitlement that Christy Smith and her campaign has just oozes from them like some nasty toxic waste site. It's pretty disgusting, the sense of entitlement and privilege that Christy Smith and her campaign thinks that they basically just deserve this congressional seat for whatever reason. Oof, you are so transparent. Your only angle to win is to smear your opponent with lies and avoid any talk of policy. Indeed. Guess those corporations and lobbyists did their job well because it's obvious you've been bought. Nice. Nice. Burns. And then somebody says, did you just quote yourself? She did. I sure hope so. No one can be this tone deaf. Luke Mandel, you're going to lose to Cenk precisely because you have no substance. If you have substance, debate him. He said he would anytime, anywhere. You do not own this seat. You can say you're handpicked all you want, but at the end of the day, it's the people that will pick Cenk. Actual constituent here, I would have loved to hear you debate. You must earn your votes. I'm interested in change. Cenk Uygur has a strong resume of true progressivism. To call him and diminish his character doesn't help your cause. Indeed. Let's see. Let's check this out. Could you keep an open mind on Christy? She does take an awful lot of money from big corporations. There are candidates in the race that have sworn off corporate cash. Taking that kind of cash means she owes political favors that won't be in your interest. Let's see. Average campaign contributions per donor, 2020 to 2,661 per donor. Let's see. Any politician refuses to debate and make their case to the public to why they should have the honor to represent them is only blind by their hubris, but also insanely cowardly. Shame. Also, who signs their tweets? CC at LA Times. Y'all gonna call out your girl so she can finally debate and make her case to the people, or do you need some nonsensical drama in order for this to matter? That's awesome. Cringe. That is a little cringe. But that's all Christy Smith has done, though. Smear at Cenk Uygur. If she is as good for the 25th as she says she is, then debit him. It should say debate. Prove it. It's It's simple, really. If he's as bad and evil as you all think, then it should be easy for her to prove it. Attack him on policies, indeed, but she can't attack him on policies because she would get wrecked. She would get destroyed because she supports this more neoliberal centrism of tweaking around the edges that results, in 500 plus thousand people going bankrupt each year due to medical debt. 30 to 45,000 people dying each year due to not having access to healthcare. And, she supports that continuing to happen because she's only in support of a public option. But, we can see just by the overwhelming, comments calling her out on her ridiculous tweet, that the people are wise to her tactics, and they see, that she's trying to hide behind these, personal attacks against Cenk, trying to label him a sexist by, you know, by wanting her to participate in these debates along with the other candidates. So the voters for themselves can decide and not think, just because you're an assembly person that you're somehow entitled to this position that just, reeks of arrogance and hubris. And I can't wait to see Cenk defeat you in the general election and go to Washington and represent, a real progressive message that's going to help the working class of the United States. Cenk 2020. Peace.